Boo 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 boo. Do do. So, hello everyone. This is Digit D, and I got something special for you guys today. This is my review for Pokemon Shield. This is my review for Pokemon Shield. So, it's an in-depth review of Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Shield. So, I do hope you guys like this video. If you do like this video, subscribe to my channel. There will be more reviews coming in the future. I want to say sorry to the 11 people who saw my last week video, my update, that it took so long to get this out. When I ordered my new camera, I wanted to wait and make sure it came in the mail so I can use that camera instead of my old one, because the old one was horrible. I also wanted to show you guys my other recording stuff that I got set up so I can do these cool recordings for you guys. So this is my in-depth review of Pokemon Shield, because this is with my Elgato capture card and everything, so you can actually see what I'm doing. You can see what game I'm playing and everything else. So I hope you guys do like and subscribe to my channel. So let's hop right into it. This is my in-depth review of Pokemon Shield. So let's talk about the game. So Pokemon Shield is a mainline stream Pokemon game that came out for the Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to be another mainline series that came from the 3DS era and the DS area. Now it's in the Nintendo Switch. But they kind of did this game badly compared to all of the other Pokemon games. I've been playing Pokemon since Pokemon Yellow on Game Boy. Pokemon Yellow. There is a version called Pokemon Green, but it's only in Japan. Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. Those are the 4 copies of the Pokemon games that I started on, and that's how I learned about and became a Pokemon fanboy, or whatever you want to call it. But my favorite Pokemon game of all time is Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire series. It's a very fun game. I did get Omega Ruby, so I also have that game, but that's like for something else for 3DS and everything else. So, but if you're a Pokemon fan, this Pokemon game, it's going to be a controversial one because it's Pokemon Shield. It's something that came on the mainline console games. So since it finally came out to mainline consoles, everyone would think this would be a cool game to play. It'd be very fun, but there's problems. There's tons of problems in this game. So first off, we're going to talk about the main parts of the game. So the first one is story. Is there story? Yes and no. Particularly, what I mean by there is story in the game. Basically, your story is you start at your home, which everyone lives in this house. Don't matter who you are, everyone's going to be living in this house. You come out of this house, you run this direction, you keep running this direction, and you run into your first character. His name's Hop. He is your supposed rival or buddy, that goes on a journey with you in the Pokemon journey. So you guys are trying to battle each other, see who's the best, but in the end you come out on top all the time. So no matter what you do, you always come out on top. And the storyline is you're just trying to become a better gym leader, or basically a better trainer or a better battler. When something cool happens in the game, they show it off screen. So if something cool has happened, they put you off screen. They literally put you off the screen. So you It's off screen. I mean, they don't put you off screen. The content of the cool stuff is off screen, and then they tell you to go fight a gym. They tell you to go straight to the gyms. So that's basically the story, and it's supposedly you going to. They don't show the cool rest part. Spoiler alert! Until near the end, where you get a Pokemon called Eternus, or whatever his name is. Yeah, Eternus. That's the only way to get him is near the end of the game. So, but that's when you run into the storyline, but there's not really much of a story. You just run location to location to location. So once you get to, let's see here, it was the 6th gym. Once you get to the 6th gym, which is right here, the 6th gym, it's just a straight run through the game to get to the 8th gym. You get to the 6th, then you get to the 7th, and then you just go straight to the 8th. And then after the 8th, you do a little bit more battles during the story mode, and you get a little people to help you up, and you got to go do a little search thing. But that's about it. There's not really much. You get through. That's basically the story of the game. Is then the rest of the story after you beat the game is where there is more characters, but they challenge you on getting one of the shiny not one of the shinies, but one of the Sword or Shield Pokemon. You gotta traverse each gym you've been to already and fight one of the Gigantamaxing or Dynamax Pokemon that are in the gym. So that's what you would have to do. The battles, they're battles. They're battles. So that's the story. I give the story this is my 8th. This is out of my 8th scale, 1 to 8. So 1 being the lowest, 8 being the highest. So it'd probably be about a 4 on story, because there's not really much of a story. It's 4. So yeah. Also, there's a pretty cool thing you can do besides that. So let's talk about them graphics. Yes, the graphics of the game. Actually, yeah, let's talk about the graphics. We're going to talk about the graphics. The graphics in the game, they actually do look pretty darn good for a high-scaled game. They actually do, but you can still compare them to 3DS games, and the 3DS ones are still a little bit better. You can, the graphics-wise, you can see the houses. They are modeled in, but you can't go up you can go up the stairs only in Hop's house and your house. Those are the only few places you can go that has an upstairs where it actually works. You can actually see how the models of the characters actually look. They actually look very high detailed, but there is still one problem. The grass don't look that great. No, grass don't look that great. The little battle texture here, this one small gym, if you actually did a fight, that's pretty small. They're extremely close to one another. So, if we go to... No, we don't want the bike. Go to town map. And go to the wild area. Because you can use the Corviknight flying once you have that unlocked. You could basically use it at the very beginning of the game. Yeah, it's basically unlocked for you, so you can fast travel just about anywhere and everywhere. It's in here, the wild area. Once we get into the wild area, would you take a look at that tree? That model of that tree looks horrible. That looks horrible. That is some PS2 graphics or some other 2 graphics on that tree, man. That looks bad. But let's check about the in-game models. You can see the in-game models of Pokemon actually looks pretty good. You can see the in-game models of the Pokemon look really good. They actually did a really good job, but then you can still see the trees in the background. The trees in the background still look bad. They're horrible, man. They are horrible. The special moves that they have, that they decide to add in here, is pretty cool. The graphics they did for some of the moves are pretty cool. Some are not. Some are just your basic, it's basic stuff. Like, I know one move I've seen in tons of trailers about certain moves of characters and stuff, and they talk about it and everything else. All of my Pokemon are like extremely high, level 100, yay. Besides that, the graphics look, they're okay. They can do a little bit better. They could have did a whole lot better for this game. Made the graphics look amazing. Like, if you compare it to Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I do have Zelda Breath of the Wild, since I finally got an Elgato capture card, I can actually do a review for you guys for Breath of the Wild. I have beat that game, and that game's awesome. That game is awesome, so expect a review for that later on in the future. I can finally do reviews for all my Nintendo games. This is a little sponsor for you, that I'm going to have reviews for all of my Nintendo games that I have, so, and a bunch of other games on my PlayStation that I have a PS4 and everything else. But you can see, let's go back to the graphics. You can see there's normal stuff. The outfit on your bike is ugly, really. It's not that great. You can change the colors if you go talk to one of the guys with the book bag and stuff. But that's about it, really. In certain areas, there's a lot of stuff I can talk about in this game that makes this game unplayable, unplattable. But the water, they did a good job on the water. They still made it look nice, where you can actually get to, but the only way to get to certain areas, you got to get the bike with the things that are on the bike and everything. They allow you to get certain things earlier, but from a standpoint, if you look at the drop view in the very back of the camera, you can actually see they did the far stuff that actually made it look good. So let's check out Dynamax Pokemon and stuff and see how that stuff looks for you guys. So we can talk about the graphics from there. There's one open right over there, so let's go over there. Whee! See, you can see right here, right there, you can see how bland, and they just look bland. The textures are bad. You can probably get a higher texture quality from doing something else that can make it stand out and make it look awesome, but they did not. You're about to see that I have max watts. I do have max watt in this game. So, these are one of the mechanics. Is a Dynamax. It's a rock type. It's 5 stars. Do I want to invite others? No, I'm not inviting others. Just don't invite others. But first, let me just heal my Pokemon. I think because the graphics in this area are pretty cool. Like, my character, she looks very cute. There's a card that I did. It made it look very cool. So once you beat the game, I'll go and explain that in the gameplay mechanics. So when I get to that part, but you can see the graphics. They look plain. They gave all the characters look red with this menacing look with poop smoke around them. Poop smoke? Yeah, poop smoke. That looks like a giant turd. It looks like a giant turd, basically. So, it looks like a giant turd. I can probably switch out my Pokemon, but you can't switch out your Pokemon once you have your Pokemon out. But I can switch out my Pokemon, but I'm gonna just do this. Fight. And just sometimes just fight. But you can look at the other character models. They actually did a good job, but the thing is, their mouths don't move. They don't open their mouths. They just bow. Some characters do open their mouths, but they're only like main characters or the characters that are moving plot of the storyline and stuff like that. So you can change up your outfit. You can get clothes. You can get all that stuff. But so this is what the graphics of the game looks like. This is the UI of the game, where you got your character stuff, you got your spells on your side, you got the character stats, you got all the stats. If you don't do anything, it does this camera animation where it's going through, showing each Pokemon, showing you how close they are and what they are and what they're doing and stuff like that. It shows various things of what can happen. And so this is a 5-star. I'm just going to use an effect. That move was weak. I mean, they barely did any damage. I barely did any damage. I think because he's a rock type Pokemon, I could probably switch to more water type Pokemon, which I probably will switch to more water type Pokemon to make this fight go a little bit easier for you guys. Ooh, the animation of the moves are pretty cool, like that one. If a person that was actually standing under that, they would have just died in real life, because it summons a giant boulder and it just falls on top of it. That's instant squish. Instant squish. This party is getting demolished. So if I lose 4 Pokemon, it's an instant game thing over. I lose. That's already 1, so we got 3 more left. Or you lose in 10 rounds. I can't Dynamax. I thought I was able to. Let's switch out. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. I can check summaries of their other team Pokemon. I should have put in a water Pokemon to do this fight, but it's whatever. I don't mind if I lose or not. Usually, if you don't do your moves are practiced sometimes stronger. But since this is a 5-star fight, I just want to show you guys the graphics for this fight of what the things do and everything else. He used Rock Slide. This guy is just demolishing the other team except me. He attacked me twice. So, but this is what one of the mechanics are in the game. I still can't do it. Finally, the shield is gone again, and then there's like, I think it happens like 2 more times. So, for a 5-star fight, yep, there it is again. There's that giant boulder. Squish. Douche. Douche. Squish. Bum 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 bum. So let's talk about the music while I'm in this battle. The music, it's nice. It does get you sometimes cheering. I know certain battles or the Pokemon Gym battles, the music is actually very entertaining, where it gets very hyped for the music. It gets very, very hyped. So you can't. So the music part gets very, very hyped, which is pretty cool. They get super hyped. I enjoy the music. I do enjoy the music. I did enjoy the music of the game. Certain areas do have nice music, but some areas, they're okay. So, but once I finish this battle, and I can show you guys a little bit more of the graphics, I'm gonna go to certain areas that are in the game. Like, there's a cave in the game. There's like 2 cave areas. They're like basically walk-through caves. Like, walk-through caves. You can walk through these caves within seconds. Well, not in seconds, but few minutes? maybe within a few minutes. If you skip and not evade Pokemon, if you use Repel, it won't take long. It literally won't take long. There we go. There goes my Dynamax thing. Now I can hit fight. And then we're going to just do Max Starfall, which here's part of the graphics that do look amazing, is how the Starfalls look. The animations are pretty good, the animations that they did for this part, but they only animated some stuff, and not all stuff. That's about it. They animated the cool stuff, and then didn't animate all the stuff. My Pokemon is tall. I don't know how they still went for me. We failed. But there we go. So you can see the graphics where they did the battle models and everything else. The battle models look good. The models, the textures, and everything else of the Pokemon actually look good. But the stuff in the background looks horrible. The trees look horrible. The grass looks bad. They could have did a little bit better on the grass. They could have did a little bit better on the trees. The character models are good. The Pokemon models are good. But that's about it. That's about what they got. That's about what they got for the models. So let me go to a few other areas that they have available in the game. So you got your town map. There's a cave, which is right here. The Galar Mines. I can fly to Route 3. And then, because going through these areas, they can be kind of cool, kind of beautiful, but if not, they're not that great looking whatsoever. Because here's one mine. They also have healers at every location. Spoiler. So you can see that the graphics inside of the place looks pretty darn cool, but the wall textures are horrible. The floor texture, or they're okay. The rails, the ground texture is a ground texture, but the wall, it looks like crinkled up paper. Like somebody crinkled up paper and then just slather it everywhere. It's just, You can see the walls. They added cool colors and gems, but it just doesn't go right. No. I just noticed she's in here for some odd reason. I got her lead card though, so that's nice. So it just, the graphics, look at them. They just look, I'll show you. You can see what I mean, where you can just literally, I'm already through this dungeon already. It didn't take long. Because you can go that way, there's a Pokemon there, that is a rail, and then the box textures look fine for boxes in the woods, but the woods are like a grady, but the walls just are horrible. There's another area that I want to show you guys. So there, I ran through this place extremely fast. And look at that rock texture. That rock texture looks bad. These rocks look horribly bad. So if you don't mind, if you're a kid don't mind. They don't care. I've been playing on graphics that are much horrible on Game Boy. But there's just certain Pokemon games that have better textures than this, and then everything else in the area. but the rocks look horrible. I could talk to this lady again and she's gonna heal my Pokemon. So let me show you one other area for the town map. Although, like, they did a good job on some things, but some other stuff, it just doesn't look good. The other area is this rock cave. So let me show you what this rock cave looked like. We're just gonna ride my bikes. See, you can see that the backdrops of the graphics look cool. Everything looks, they look like they did a really good job, but then when you get to the cave, they did a horrible job. The cave don't look that good. The caves, it just don't look that good. Just doesn't look that good at all. The water in here, the reflective part in the cool water, that looks cool in the blue. That's a very dark blue water, but it's just some of this stuff don't look right. This is, I got another TM. It's Mudshot. But it just doesn't look good. No, it doesn't. I think I have this Pokemon. I don't know. I'm untoo sure. I'm untoo sure. They're just gonna run away. And take a look at that. We already... I thought I'd be through here. If you don't run into fights, you can literally run through this cave in no time. Oh wow, that's a shiny Noibat I just ran into on camera. That is hilarious. I didn't even think I was going to run into the one. Yo, that's a rare moment. That's a rare moment. I'm recording and I run into a Noibat. That is a shiny. This is a rare occasion. So I'm either just going to bag it and tag it. Hit X. Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls. We're just going to use Pokeballs. Oh, it broke out. Now it's time to use my other Pokeballs that I have. Don't mind my items. Just don't mind them. Doom doom. So now we have a Noibat that is shiny. You know, I probably spelled that wrong, but we can change his name. Yeah, it is shiny. I literally caught this dude on the first try. Not the first try, I didn't get him on the first try, but that's pretty cool though. I didn't think I was gonna run into a shiny Pokemon during this whole thing. I did not think of that at all. Like, at all. So as you see, after that, there's it. There's only one other place I can show you the graphics for. There is one other place. Go to town map. And it is here. It's right here in this forest. Glenwood Teagle. Like, you can see the graphics in here. It looks cool. They did a good job. But the ground textures still look horrible. The lights, the colors, the wood, everything bounces off one another, which is pretty darn cool. The graphics in this area looks nice. So this is the last part of the graphics that I'm going to show. But you can see the ground textures right there just look, just don't look great. But I just want to show you what the you can see the textures in this area. They just look very grady. It's very grady. Doesn't look that good. Like, it looks like a moss poop green. Moss poop green. Yeah. So it is what it is. The game is what it is. So I give the graphics, out of all the good stuff they have where they did a good job on the models of the Pokemon, I give it a 4.5 out of 8. 4.5 out of 8 for this. So let's talk about the animations for the game. The animations are pretty good. You got a slide transition right there whenever you're playing the game. The UI of the battle systems are pretty nice. So let me get into another battle for you guys. So the animation right there looks pretty cool. The animations here. So you can see that the animations that they added look a little, but it's a little bit there. You can see that they do the same animations from the 3DS. So the animations, it's the same animation, mostly the same stuff, but they changed it a little bit for the new moves and certain other moves. They kept the same battle animation, like damage animations and stuff like that. I'ma just give that a, at the top of my head, I'll give it a 4 for the animations, because some animation qualities are good, some are not. The camera can get wild for some areas, but I talked about the animations during the graphics part a little bit. But let's talk about the main thing for this game, is the gameplay mechanics. So, it's a Pokemon game. So your basically gameplay mechanics are to battle Pokemon. It's basically the same mechanics since Ruby, I mean not Ruby, but Red, all the way to now. They're basically the same. You catch Pokemon, you use that Pokemon in battle, and you battle gym leaders to get gym badges to get higher Pokemon. You can trade Pokemon to other people. You can breed Pokemon in this game. So if you want to breed, you can go to the Pokemon breeding place. Okay, so go to the breeding place on town maps. You got 2 locations to breed Pokemon. Here on the 5th, and then here, which is literally right here. In the, yeah, right here, where the other Pokemon nursery. It's where you breed Pokemon. You go in, you drop your Pokemon off, so you literally go to one of these 2 locations. If you want to get this place early, you can. It's not going to let me fly until I leave, so let's leave. So, you either can go up here to the bridge, or right here. You can get to this place very early on if you know what you're doing. Just go to a certain area in the wild area, go to the side, and then you'll find it in the side. So this is where you get the other breed. Your other Pokemon is right here. You give her your Pokemon that you want to hold, and then the 2, and then they'll produce an egg. And then that egg hatches into the Pokemon that you're trying to get the parent that you want of the egg. If you're using a Ditto, which you can get right over there in the corner, there's a Ditto den over here in this corner. You can get a Ditto, which seems very easy to do with that Ditto, and then you can basically breed any Pokemon you want. So this is basically for players who wants to get the IV under control, the IV mechanics, and everything else for the game once you have the IV mechanics. The weather system, they do have a weather system in the game in Pokemon. You go to your town map, then once you hit town map, you can toggle on and off the weather. Certain areas of weather will determine certain Pokemon. I have learned another way to alter the weather in a specific way. If you go to your home screen, then go to your settings, and then change the setting of the date. Turn off automatic time and set the date to whatever date it is, and then change it by 1. The weather will change. If you go by a specific day of the first of the month, all of the locations will be one specific weather. If you want to use to try to catch specific Pokemon during specific times of the day, stuff like that. If you would have to change the weather to do that. But besides changing the date, you do have the battle mechanics where you can battle Pokemon. You can actually set up, you can change out your Pokemon moves. So the Pokemon moves that I have here, you can switch out your Pokemon moves with other moves. With the breeding system, they allow you to do more customization. If you're trying to pass on egg moves to your Pokemon, you'll be able to do that if they don't have any move slots taken up. Or you can use TMs. TMs allow you to get other specific moves. So that would be in your bag, your HMs, your TMs. If you use these, yeah, your HMs, TMs, all of this stuff that are used to actually change your Pokemon moves. Only certain characters of the certain type of element that they have will be able to change or affect the moves. Besides that, they also have other stuff that's actually the elements that Pokemon have. There's certain types of Pokemon. You got fire, water, ice, dark, wind, psychic, grass, ground. There's so many different types of Pokemon in this game. There's only 400. They did cut the Pokédex to save the other rest under DLC. So that's another thing you have to worry about, is you're not going to get all 800 Pokemon like the old games. I know Pokemon Sun and Moon, you can get all 800. If you go a version before that, you won't be able to get all 800, but it's still, you're able to get all 700. So the latest one, you can get all 800 Pokemon, and you can get all shinies. Shinies are in this game are shiny locked. The starters are shiny locked, and the rare, the legendaries are shiny locked. So you can't get any of those Pokemon shiny whatsoever. You cannot get any of those Pokemon shiny. So if you want to get a shiny version of your starter, you're going to have to go breeding, and that's the only way to get the starters. Besides the starter ones, legendaries, they will never be shiny in this game. If you want legendary shinies, play the game before this one. That would be Sun and Moon, because that's the mainline one. The one after Sun and Moon, the first one that came on the Switch, is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So besides gameplay mechanics, you can actually see what their evolutions are. You get to see what they do. You get to see what they look like, and see if I encountered them in shiny or not shiny and stuff like that, and see what type of other abilities they do have and everything else. For the gameplay mechanics, the UI is nice. It's simple. They actually did a nice job on this, but everything else, they just it didn't really do a good job. Basically the gameplay mechanic I already showed you a little bit of the gameplay mechanics. Here's another gameplay mechanic, is if there is no Pokemon in a den, if you have Wishing Den or whatever Watts or Wishing Star or whatever it's called, you throw one in. and then you can make a Pokemon spawn. So now there's a shiny one. It's not shiny what I'm saying, but it is a specific Pokemon that is here now. So if I want to fight it, I can fight it. I throw another one in, I can keep going to find and map out the Pokemons and see which specific Pokemons are in it. So you can do that with the den. There is giant Pokemon that I fought earlier with the Onix that I fought. Another one. Those are supposed to be hard Pokemon. You can see them walking around in specific areas. These guys here, if you need to find fossils or find specific items, you give them money and they go do that. Money in this game, you don't really need to buy items in this game. They will hold your hand through this entire game. You don't need to really buy any items. You really don't. Because they're going to hold your hand through the entire game. You'll be holding your hand because, like that cave I show you, there was someone to heal you. And then outside the exit, there was someone to heal you. Hop will be in your face every location, just about. Hop will be in your face at almost every location, stopping you to talk to you. There's another gameplay mechanic where you get to see the overview of the Pokemon on the ground. They don't show them, and they kept that from Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, but they would show if they're shiny or not in Pokemon Let's Go and Eevee. In this one, they do not show that if they're Eevee, Pokemon Let's Go and Eevee. And Let's Go, that Pikachu and Eevee, they allow you to trade game with Pokemon, trade your Pokemon to Pokemon Go, but it's only from Pokemon Go to Let's Go Pikachu. So until Pokemon Home comes out, then you'll be able to do whatever you want, but you still have to pay a subscription service for that. Then you have to pay the subscription service for Nintendo Online if you want to use the online service. So if you want to use, I don't have the online service, so I can't use the Pokemon features, but if you're local, you can still trade with people locally because my fiance has the game. My fiance has Pokemon Sword. I have Shield with Sword. I can still trade in between each other to play the game, which is actually really nice. So without me having the subscription, my fiance has the subscription and they can play online. They can do other stuff with other people. But there is the battle thing. You have to go through Y Trade. The Ycom is faulty. It's okay, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, and it just sucks. Trying to do a link trade, I know trying to do a local one, it takes a very long time to get the stamps to show up. If I want some stamps to show up, I have to keep refreshing just to play with my fiance, because with the dens, you can play with people online with the dens, but with the dens, you have to send out your search tag for everyone else. So if a den pops up, you can be like, you want to play with your friends, or you don't want to play with your friends. If you have the internet, you can play with the internet. There's also major glitches in the game that they do have also, where certain glitches make the game unplayable for some people. Other glitches just makes it outright. Another gameplay mechanic is if you shake the tree enough, a Pokemon would fall, and it's going to usually be the squirrel Pokemon. So I talked about the story, I talked about the graphics, I talked about the animation, and now I've talked about the gameplay mechanics. The gameplay mechanics are where it's at. It's what makes this game a little fun, and that's why I play it, just to play it, because I want to play it with my fiance. My fiance bought it, and it's the gameplay mechanics that made me want to play, besides the graphics and everything else of the game. So if I want to play with other people, I can. It's just have to do a local thing to battle or challenge anybody else. There's another thing there. If you see a glowing Pokemon like that, they will have 2 perfect IVs, or sometimes 3. So if you try to catch them, they'll have perfect IVs. So they added little stuff to the gameplay mechanics that actually make it look like it's a fun game to play. They do add like a little racing thing to it. They do have your all-time battles in-game content, there's not really much of in-game content. After you do that, you have the battle tower where you just battle, and then after that you basically play online until the DLC comes out, where the DLC is locked to, I think it's like 300, or it's between 260 to 300 Pokemon that are locked behind the new DLC content. So what makes this game expensive for a lot of people is people buy both Sword and Shield. That's $60 a piece. That's $120 right there. Okay, that's $120 right there. And then when the DLC comes out, you have to pay an extra $60 to get both, because the DLC is going to be different for each copy of the game. So I don't know why they made it like that, but that's an extra $30 for each one. So now you're up to $180 for the game. And that's just for buying all that. And then on top of that, you have to have a Pokemon Nintendo subscription if you're paying the month-to-month fee, which can range from, I think the highest is $12, where the lowest is like $5 a month. So you're still adding on an extra $5 to play the Nintendo subscription online. And then if you have Pokemon Home or Pokemon Bank, then you have another 2 subscription. Pokemon Bank is $5.99, and then plus the subscription of Pokemon Home, whenever that comes out this year, because it's year 2020, that's another $12 or $16 if you want to be able to do everything you can with the Pokemon for Nintendo Switch. That's a lot that's coming out of your pocket to play a simple child game. But gameplay mechanics, I'm actually going to give this a high rating of a 6 out of 8. So there's my scores for this game for Pokemon. This is my in-depth review of Pokemon. I was very surprised to get a shiny. There is a shiny mechanic. There's 2 types of shiny. There's the shiny that has the squares, and then there's the shinies that has the stars. Whenever they throw the Pokeball out, let me just show you what I mean. Let's get into another fight with this Noibat. We're going to get into another fight. See, that's the normal one. I ran into a shiny one unexpectedly. You can see right there. You can see the squares. That's another rarity of shinies they have. They have 2 types of shinies. So if I switch out Pokemons, we're gonna get the one I just caught, Swap. We're gonna see what the animation is. It's square, so I think I got the highest rarity for that, which is weird. So So that's another gameplay mechanic they added in just for, I think, giggles. So, I hope you guys did enjoy this Pokemon review. I hope you guys enjoy the stuff of my content that I have put out for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy this Pokemon review of Pokemon Shield. I know this was a long time coming for me. This has been a game I actually played. I played through the whole game. I actually did other things. There's like certain things locked under specific content, like the bike is locked under specific. Once you get to the 6th gym, after you beat the 6th gym, you get the bike. You literally have to get to about right here. Once you get right here, because you need the bike to go... No, it's not there. I'm sorry. It's right here. Once you get here, you need to get the bike to go south, and then once you go south, then you go back that way. So you need the bike to get that area, because the bike is the only way to go into the water. And you'll get the bike, the first bike from the same dude who's like being threatened by bullies in this game, because they got bullies in this game, but they're just hardcore fans for one character and the grand. So besides the whole game, all my total rating for this game is a 6. For Pokemon Shield, actually no, scratch that. It's not a 6. I'm sorry. It's a 5.5. It's a 5.5. 5.5 for the rating for Pokemon Shield and Sword. Pokemon Shield and Sword, that is my rating for this game. It is playable. If you're a kid, you're going to be enjoying this game. But if you're a Pokemon fan like me or grew up with the game, you're probably not going to like it as much, because there's a lot of stuff they actually took out and everything else. So I hope you do guys enjoy this video. I hope everyone who's watching this video like it. If you want to see more reviews, this review is going to be free. Like I said in my last one, it's going to be free. So I do hope you guys enjoy my Pokemon Sword and Shield review, or Shield and Sword, if whatever you want to say it. But thank you guys for checking out my video, and I will see you guys in the next one.